Hi, I'm Samantha Parker, children's pastor at Abyssinian Christian Church here in Fort Collins, and I want to share some thoughts on how the Manitou Incline is like parenting. If you've done the Manitou Incline, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't and you're unfamiliar with it, it is just under a mile straight up. You're going up steps. That's all it is steps. It's down to Manitou Springs, and you cover in just under a mile. You cover just over 2,000 feet in elevation. So it's this very steep incline. Feels like you're just going straight up a ladder. For me, it did, at least. Everyone has a different experience, I'm sure. But it was hard, and it was on my bucket list. Sounded like a great thing to check off. Sounded like fun and a great challenge. And it was. It was all of those things and more. And as I went, it was much like parenting, where you start right away, you're just going up steps. There's no gradual easing into things. You start right away with those 2 a.m. feedings, sleepless nights, and it has beauty all around you. It is a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing to do, much like parenting, but not without its challenges. And feeling like you're going straight up sometimes. And as I got about halfway to 3/4 of the way up, I was very graceful. I was just beautifully crawling up the steps. And it felt like climbing a ladder, but is looked much more like crawling, like a child crawling. So I clearly looked like I was having a hard time, and this kind gentleman who was at least in his 70s, I would say, was coming back down. So he had clearly made it to the top and coming on his way back down. I, on the other hand, was going to gladly take the 4-mile route down and not come straight down the mile, because it would be much easier. And it was so steep that it would be dangerous for me. But he was doing just fine. And he had passed me a couple steps down, and he turned around and asked if I'd like some tips. And I quickly said yes, absolutely, please. And so he took two or three steps up to meet me where I was. And that was huge, because 2 to 3 steps was like 2 to 3 miles to me at that point, not knowing if my legs would take me each step. And so to me, that was huge for him to come alongside of me and join me where I was, and show me how to take steps, how to take that next step up to get the most efficient use out of my body and breath, when to breathe, he showed me. And it was just encouraging for him to take a moment to help me, someone he didn't know but was clearly struggling, and show me a better way that I didn't know. And I think that's so much compared to our communities, with parents raising kids. We're in the thick of it. We're in the weeds, as people say. And it is a beautiful thing. Parenting is so beautiful and wonderful. And that doesn't mean it's not challenging at times and can be hard. And he came alongside of me and showed me a better way and encouraged me. And I just think how great it is if we allow people in our community and our churches to come alongside of us who have clearly been to the top, are on their way back down, and have experiences and have knowledge, might have a better way of doing things, to come alongside of us and encourage us. I could have been prideful and said, no. You are probably twice my age, and you don't understand what I'm going through right now. I'm still going up, and you've already come back down. You've already gone up and are coming back down. You don't know where I am. You wouldn't understand. Which sounds completely ridiculous when talking about the Manitou Incline, right? Absolutely ridiculous. But that is what we do in parenting sometimes. We look at the older generation and say, no, you've already been up there. You're on your way back down. You wouldn't understand what I'm going through. You wouldn't know. And we lose out on that person coming alongside of us and showing us a better way or just encouraging us. And so I encourage the older generation to welcome yourself in, invite yourself into someone else's life, and get to know them, get to know their kids' names and grades and things that they're interested in, silly things, but also be there to encourage them, get to know their struggles, and be vulnerable and let them know some of yours. Let them know some of your failures and your successes. And that's also for the young parents to welcome. Find somebody that you can welcome into your life that's been there and done that, and open up and let them know some of your failures, your fears, things that you want to succeed in with your children. Showing them God's light and God's way is not always easy, because we're all flawed and imperfect, and we're trying, and that's what matters. And I think the beauty of the body of believers, we've all had different experiences. So, no, we don't know each other's experiences firsthand, but we've all had our own and can relate and share and just be there for each other and encourage each other. And so that's my takeaway from that experience, just that reminder to allow that community, allow people into my lives to come alongside of me and encourage me, and hopefully show me some better ways of doing things in my life and in my children's life, in my marriage. I've got plenty of things to work on and to grow in. And so welcoming that knowledge and that experience, most of all, is beautiful.